I am walking across the dry sand of the Kalahari Desert in Botswana when I notice unusual movement near a small cluster of burrow entrances. The sun is high, and the air shimmers above the red earth. A family of meerkats stands upright, tense and alert. Their usual coordinated scanning is replaced by frantic digging. Sand sprays backward from their tiny paws. I move closer and kneel at a careful distance. One burrow entrance is partially collapsed. From inside the narrow tunnel, I see the brief flicker of scaled movement. A Cape Cobra is partially inside the burrow. Its body is thick and muscular, patterned in muted desert tones. The snake's tail remains outside, while its head and upper body disappear underground. The meerkat family circles the entrance, chattering silently with sharp body movements. One adult meerkat digs furiously at the side of the burrow. Another stands upright, scanning for additional danger. Suddenly, the sand shifts violently. A tiny baby meerkat pup's hind legs appear at the edge of the burrow opening. The rest of the small body is still inside the tunnel. The Cape Cobra's coils tighten within the darkness below. The pup struggles, small claws scraping against the loose sand. The family digs faster, widening the entrance. The cobra's tail whips against the surface. The burrow trembles under the movement below. The pup is not free, and the desert is completely exposed around us. The underground chamber begins to collapse under the pressure of digging from above. Sand pours downward into the tunnel system. The vibrations beneath the surface grow stronger. The Cape Cobra shifts position inside the burrow. The ground bulges several inches away from the main excavation pit. The family of meerkats redirects instantly toward that movement. They dig with greater intensity, widening the collapse zone. A narrow crack opens in the sand, exposing a deeper tunnel segment. For a brief moment, the scaled midsection of the Cape Cobra becomes visible below ground. The snake's muscular body coils tightly inside the confined space. The baby meerkat pup is still inside the tunnel system. The sand above continues to weaken. Part of the tunnel roof caves inward. Dust rises into the hot desert air. The cobra reacts to the collapse by shifting again. A second surface ripple appears several feet away. The meerkat family splits once more. Half continue digging at the exposed tunnel section. The others race toward the new disturbance. The underground struggle is no longer stationary. It is moving through the burrow network. The sand fractures in multiple lines. The system of tunnels destabilizes further. The adult meerkats dig aggressively along the snake's projected path. Another section of the surface sinks unexpectedly. The desert floor becomes uneven and fragile. The cobra's movement slows briefly beneath the surface. Then the ground stills. The family pauses for a split second. Then they resume digging with even greater urgency. The surface tremors slow beneath the sand. The Cape Cobra is still underground. The excavation zone is now wide and unstable. The family of meerkats continues digging without pause. I am no longer only observing from a distance. I step carefully toward the collapsed burrow site. The sand shifts under my boots. I kneel several feet from the deepest trench. The ground is fragile and partially hollow beneath the surface. I can see a narrow vertical crack leading into a deeper chamber. The crack is too tight for the meerkats to widen quickly. The underground movement has become slower, but more concentrated. The Cape Cobra appears to have coiled inside a confined pocket. The burrow system is severely compromised. If the chamber collapses entirely, the snake and the pup could be buried. I use a long metal snake hook from my field kit. I insert the hook carefully into the vertical crack. The sand shifts again. The meerkats retreat only slightly, then resume digging around me. I widen the crack gradually, removing compacted sand by hand. The chamber below becomes partially visible. I see the coiled midsection of the Cape Cobra. The snake's body is tense and compressed. I stabilize the edge of the collapse zone with controlled movements. The hook slides gently beneath part of the snake's body. The cobra reacts instantly. The sand vibrates from sudden muscular tension. The burrow opening widens further. The chamber is now exposed enough for direct extraction. The situation shifts from desperate digging to precise intervention. The containment tube holding the Cape Cobra is secured. I carry it several dozen meters away from the damaged burrow site. The desert wind moves lightly across the red sand. Behind me, the family of meerkats gathers tightly around the baby meerkat pup. The excavation zone remains unstable. Loose sand continues to slide inward. As I move farther from the burrow, I feel the ground shift again beneath my boots. I turn immediately. A deeper section of the tunnel system collapses without warning. The sand sinks in a wide circle near where the pup had been placed moments earlier. The family of meerkats scatters briefly, then regroups. The baby meerkat pup stands near the edge of the new depression. The sand beneath the pup begins to give way. The collapse spreads outward in slow motion. The ground becomes a shallow sinkhole. The pup struggles to maintain footing on the unstable slope. I set the containment tube down on stable ground. I run back toward the collapsing area. The sand slides again, pulling the pup closer to the center of the depression. The family digs frantically at the edges but cannot stabilize the slope. The collapse deepens another few inches. The pup slips downward. I drop to my knees at the rim of the sinkhole. The sand continues shifting under my weight. I extend one gloved hand carefully toward the sliding pup. The depression widens again. The pup loses footing and slides lower. I lean forward further despite the unstable ground. My hand closes gently around the pup's torso. The sand gives way one last time beneath us. I pull backward with controlled force. The surface stabilizes. The collapse stops. The pup is no longer sliding. The sinkhole settles into stillness. The immediate danger ends. I walk far beyond the damaged burrow system. The red sand stretches uninterrupted toward the horizon. The containment tube rests securely in my hands. The Cape Cobra remains calm inside the ventilated chamber. I choose a distant area of stable ground, far from the meerkat colony. Low desert shrubs break the flat landscape. I kneel slowly and position the tube opening away from myself. I unlock the secure end cap with controlled movement. I tilt the tube gently toward the open desert. The Cape Cobra slides forward onto the warm sand. Its muscular body uncoils gradually. The snake lifts its head briefly, oriented away from the colony. It moves across the red surface in a steady line. Within seconds, it disappears between low shrubs. The open desert swallows the movement completely. I secure the empty tube and stand. The wind moves lightly across the sand. In the distance, I see the family of meerkats near an intact burrow entrance. The baby meerkat pup stands upright beside the adults. The disturbed excavation zone is far behind them now. The ground there is quiet and still. The pup moves independently toward the new burrow opening. An adult meerkat pauses beside the pup. Both remain alert but calm. I remain at a respectful distance. The sun lowers closer to the horizon. The light turns golden across the desert. The family disappears one by one into the intact burrow. The baby meerkat pup is the last to descend. It pauses at the entrance. It stands upright for a brief moment. Then it drops safely underground. The desert returns to stillness. No collapse, no movement beneath the sand, only wind across red earth. I turn and walk away across the open Kalahari.